Taipei MRT, priority seat, fight Spurs police probe. Taipei Gongguan roundabout removal brings first-day traffic delays. Taiwan's Haikun submarine faces November delivery challenges. Trump and Netanyahu agree on new Gaza peace plan. China sentences 11 members of Mafia family to death. Comedians face backlash for performing at Saudi Arabian festival. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban separate after nearly 20 years. World's highest bridge opens in China.
Hello, I'm Wade Lee. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It is Wednesday, October 1st, International Music Day, and here are your top stories. And for today's Taiwan's news, an altercation broke out on Taipei's MRT Danshui-Xingyi line after an elderly woman insisted on sitting in the newly renamed priority seat. Despite empty seats nearby, she struck a young passenger with her bag. The youth retaliated by kicking her across the carriage. Police said the case will be handled as a mutual assault. The woman, identified as Academia Sinica's so-called white-haired witch, later left the scene after calling for help. After the demolition of Taipei's Gongguan Roundabout, today marked the first workday traffic test. Mayor Jiang Wan-an inspected the flow, while a Yonghe commuter noted his ride was 5 minutes slower than usual. He called it an adjustment period, adding he prefers minor delays over frequent cars and scooter accidents seen before. Defense Minister Wellington Koo admitted in the legislature that delivering Taiwan's first indigenous submarine, the prototype Haikun, by November faces serious challenges. He said progress on necessary preparation and tests have fallen behind schedule, stressing that safety comes first and no procedure will be skipped to meet the deadline. And in global news, U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu say they have agreed on a new peace plan for Gaza, wanting Hamas to accept it. The plan proposes an immediate end to military operations, with Hamas releasing 20 living Israeli hostages and the remains of more than 24 hostages who are believed to be dead within 72 hours, in exchange for hundreds of detained Gazans. A Palestinian source familiar with the ceasefire negotiations said Hamas officials have been given the White House 20-point proposal.
I believe that today we're taking a critical step towards both ending the war in Gaza and setting the stage for dramatically advancing peace in the Middle East.
It demands that Hamas have no role in governing Gaza and leaves the door open for an eventual Palestinian state. Speaking at a news conference following talks at the White House, Trump called the plan a historic day for peace. But he said Netanyahu will have U.S. backing to finish the job of destroying the threat of Hamas if Hamas does not agree to the plan. Netanyahu then said Israel will finish the job if Hamas rejects the plan or does not follow through. The Palestinian Authority, which governs the Israeli-occupied West Bank, has called the U.S. president's efforts sincere and determined.
According to Chinese state media, a Chinese court has sentenced 11 members of a notorious family that ran scam centers in Myanmar to death. Dozens of members of the Ming family were found guilty of conducting criminal activities, with many receiving lengthy jail sentences. The Ming family worked for one of the 4 clans that ran Myanmar's sleeping backwater town of Laokai, near the border with China, and turned it into a hub for gambling, drugs, and scam centers.
Myanmar eventually cracked down, arresting many members of these families in 2023 and handing them over to Chinese authorities. According to a report by Chinese state broadcaster CCTV, a total of 39 Ming family members were sentenced on Monday in the eastern city of Wenzhou. Besides the 11 members who received death sentences, another 5 received death sentences with 2-year suspensions, 11 were jailed for life, and the rest were given jail sentences ranging from 5 to 24 years. The court found that since 2015 the Ming family and other criminal groups had engaged in criminal activities including telecommunications fraud, illegal casinos, drug trafficking, and prostitution.
A comedy festival in the capital of Saudi Arabia has become a cultural flashpoint as major comedians face criticism for accepting seemingly lucrative deals to perform there. The country was virtually impossible to visit until 2019 and was long considered a pariah in much of the West for its human rights records. The Riyadh Comedy Festival, which began Friday and runs through October 9th, features a variety of big names. These comedians are now encountering resistance from some fans, human rights advocates, and fellow comics in the industry.
Saudi Arabia, the oil-rich home of Islam's two holiest sites, was for years among the most socially conservative nations on earth, with a morality police enforcing a strict interpretation of Sharia. In recent years, under the rule of de facto leader Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the country has expanded its cultural and political influence by diversifying its economy and investing in sports, entertainment, and tourism to improve its global image. Along with this, the Crown Prince has overseen a sweeping crackdown on dissent, imprisoning disgruntled royals, women's rights advocates, reformist clerics, as well as adherents to previously government-sanctioned proponents of strict Wahhabi Islam.
A source said Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban have separated after nearly 20 years together. The A-list couple shared two children, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret. The Oscar-winning actress and four-time Grammy-winning country singer have been married since June 2006. TMZ first reported the news and cited sources who said the pair have been living apart since the summer and Kidman does not want the separation. The reasoning for their split is unclear.
Kidman and Urban, who both grew up in Australia, have weathered ups and downs over their nearly 2 decades together. They experienced highs, with both stars winning and being nominated for top honors in their respective industries. Over the years, they have supported and cheered on one another, routinely appearing together at award shows and Hollywood premieres for the other. They also faced lows. Just months after their wedding, Urban checked himself into rehab for drug and alcohol addiction. Both he and Kidman have said his struggles with addiction made their bond stronger. Kidman and several of his close friends staged an intervention that Urban said changed his life.
The world's highest bridge opened to traffic in China on September 28th, marking the completion of an engineering feat 3 years in the making and taking the record from another bridge in the same province. The Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge rises 625 meters above a river and vast gorge in Guizhou Province, which is also home to the 565-meter Beipanjiang Bridge, now the world's second highest. China has invested heavily in major infrastructure projects in recent decades during a period of rapid economic growth and urbanization.
Live drone footage broadcast by state media showed vehicles traversing the immense structure, its blue support towers partially shrouded in clouds. Crowds of onlookers, including project engineers and local officials, gathered on the bridge for a ceremony to mark the occasion, with several expressing their pride and excitement in live interviews. Zhang Yin, head of the provincial transport department, said, "The opening of the Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge reduces travel time between the two sides from 2 hours to 2 minutes. Its opening significantly improves regional transportation conditions and injects new impetus into regional economic and social development."
The answer for yesterday was C, unfounded. The politician denied all the accusations, calling them completely unfounded. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into today's news. China sentences 11 members of Mafia family to death. Number 1, notorious, 臭名昭著的. The nightclub is notorious for violent fights. Number 2, suspension, 暂停, 停职. The player received 2-game suspension for breaking the rules. Number 3, trafficking, 非法买卖. The government is taking stronger actions against humans trafficking. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. In 1949, the International Music Council was created as an association organization of UNESCO to foster solidarity within the global music ecosystem. Initiated in 1973 by the Council's 15th General Assembly, the first International Music Day was celebrated in 1975. The day was intended to promote music, art across all sectors of society while advancing UNESCO's ideal of peace and friendship among people. And that's all for today's FUNDAY News. Be sure to tune in to FUNDAY News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join FUNDAY for free. I'm Wei Li, your host. I'll see you next time.